Hey, welcome. My name's Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. We're talking about speed sells, how to simplify the process. You ready to get going? Let's get going. Let's roll the video and then let's tee it up. Yes, we're here right now today to talk about speed sells because now more than ever, speed sells. And some of the content I'm sharing with you today comes out of my book, A Mind for Sales. And some of the other content comes out of our online, The Sales Hunter University. I can't stress this enough. We were named one of the top 10 sales development programs in the world, honored by that recognition because I'll tell you what, speed sells. And the way we sell fast is we simplify the process. Now, speed can also get you into trouble. Totally understand that. Totally get it. But let me walk you through a few things, again, very quickly, because speed sells, right? I want to share with you some ideas and some thoughts that you can put into play right now. And it starts off right here by saying, very simply, customers are priority focused now more than ever. You see, here's what I'm finding. The pandemic has changed how everybody does business. It's forced everybody to reflect on everything that they do and how they allocate time. Because again, time is moving faster than ever. Because think about anybody who laid out their 2020 plan. Well, that course was toast. 2021 plan. Well, of course, that's toast. You look at everything happening. You see, right now, more than ever, customers are focused on their priorities. And when I mean focused, I mean their top 1 or 2 priorities. You see, if you want to sell fast, you've got to get into their top 1 or 2 priorities. Because otherwise what you hear is, we're just not going to make a decision. We're just going to simply wait. And that happens far too often. Because when I hear that, you know what they're saying? We haven't created enough value. No, we haven't moved far enough up on their food chain to sit there and say, hey, we are ready to make a decision because you meet our number 1 or 2 priorities. Now, what does that mean? What that means is very simply this. We have to be thinking risk and urgency. Now, hold on. Some of you are freaking out over this risk and urgency. So do we have to paint a picture that the building's on fire? No. But here's what I'm finding. Here's what I've found. Customers will deal with issues if they feel it's a risk if they don't. Or they need to minimize the risk, or they need to prevent the risk. And they'll also do it faster if they know it is urgent. You see, what we have to do is we have to be asking ourselves, are we helping the customer see what it is that could be risky to them if they don't make a decision to go with us? Are we making a decision? Are we helping them see the urgency of it? This means we have to frame up our questions to where we're talking about, what does this decision being made today, what is this going to do to your business? What is this going to do to whoever, to your outcome? And the faster you make the decision, the faster, remember this? You sell outcomes, right? You sell solutions. You help the customer see and achieve what they didn't think was possible, right? So the faster they make a decision, the faster they're going to benefit from it. And it means they're going to be able to minimize the risk. To get to that number 1 or number 2 priority, we've got to be thinking risk and urgency. And ask yourself this question. When you're speaking with a prospect, have I been able to identify what the risk is that the customer is dealing with? Have I been able to identify? Because if I can't, then I'm not going to be in that number 1 or 2 position. If I have not been in a position where I can create a level of urgency with them, guess what? Again, I'm not going to be able to get them to make a decision fast enough. So what does this mean? What are some of the tactics and strategies we do? Well, first of all, you got to make sure that you are tight with everything that you do. And this starts with your prospect list. This absolutely starts. This is where I see a lot of customers, a lot of salespeople getting into trouble with their customers because they're entertaining customers that they shouldn't be dealing with. You see, right now, there's a lot of people that are having a lot of inbound business. But is this really inbound business you should be going after? Recently, I did a masterclass on ICP, Ideal Customer Profile. I really suggest you check that out in the Sales Hunter University. The reason I want you to check that out is because the very simple thing, what does it do? It allows you to sit there and identify who is the best customer. You see, you can jump out to learn.thesaleshunter.com to find more about the Sales Hunter University. But when I mean tight, see, here's what's interesting. If I know exactly who my prospect is, I can sell them faster because I understand what are the risks that they're trying to avoid. What are the urgencies they're dealing with? You see, I'm able to come in more confident. Now, what does that ultimately allow me to do? It allows me to do speed validation. Okay, what is speed validation? You see, I have to find out as rapidly as possible from you, what is the risk and the urgency, which means I have to be prepared to ask difficult questions. You see, too many times what happens is salespeople are a little bit afraid to ask difficult questions. So what happens is that the customer doesn't say no to us, but they don't say yes. And so we as the salesperson just continue along. We just kind of keep the process going because we think, oh, well, they haven't told us no yet, so they must be interested. But no, it means all we're doing is wasting time because they're going to tell us no. Because all they're doing is they're just sticking around just to see if something might change. And rarely does anything change. You see, I can't stress this enough. Ask the difficult questions. And one of the difficult questions I want you to ask, let's walk through a couple of them. A, how have you made decisions like this in the past? 2, what is the risk factor? What is the risk to your company if you don't make a decision quickly? See, I'm calling that out. I'm calling that out. 3, what is it worth to you as a company to be able to get this problem behind you and to get it behind you fast? Or to be able to do this and do it fast. Ask those types of questions because what are they wrapped around? They're wrapped around risk and urgency, and they're wrapped around trying to understand where their challenges are. A couple other questions you can ask is, okay, well, how does this fit into the key issues that you're working on as a company? How does what we're talking about here today align with where you need to be at the end of the year? Yeah, that's a tough question. And many times what's interesting is the customer's going to look at you like, whoa, wow, you're strange. You're different. But you know what I like? You know what I like about it? Is this very simple thing. They're going to see you in a different light. You see, here's the thing. If they see you as a vendor, you will be picked from a list of other vendors. If they see you as bringing critical insights, they'll want to do business with you faster. You see, speed validation actually allows me to accelerate the process. Now, here's another one. Reduce the options. Nothing confuses and slows down the process than if you put too many options on the table. Oh, but Mark, I want to be able to give the customer as many choices as possible. Yeah, but you know what happens? They wind up, well, you know what? We need to think about this more. We need to get more people involved. We need to get this group. We need to get this. And what happens is it slows down the process. You are the expert. You are the expert. It is your job to minimize the number of options. Yes, you want to create options so they can feel like they're in control in terms of, hey, here's 1 or 2, but don't sit there and try to throw out all kinds of other options for them to pick from. No, your goal is to get them to make a selection fast. Reduce the number of options. And this comes back to, if you understand who your perfect prospect is, if you understand who your perfect customer is, you're going to know that better. And you're going to be far more confident to be able to walk in. What I find is this: salespeople who are not confident are the ones who put more options on the table. Think about that for a moment. Next one, it really comes down to risk, security, and confidence. You see, now we talked about risk and urgency earlier, but I'm bringing this back up again for this very simple reason. If they see you as helping them minimize risk, if they see you as, scarcity, I'm sorry, I said that was security. I'm sorry, scarcity and confidence, then they are going to make a decision. Okay, let me unpack this. Here's what it comes down to. If they know what you sell is going to be out there for months and years to come, well, why make a decision today? I'll go ahead and wait. You see, there has to be an element of scarcity in what you are providing. If there's not an element of scarcity, they're going to sit there and say, well, I can wait. You see, scarcity is one way to pop the bubble of the number one or number two priority. Because it may not be the number one or number two priority, but if it's scarce, you know what? We'll make an exception. We'll have to jump on this now. The other one is confidence. You see, this comes back to why I love this whole premise of coming in and asking difficult questions, because I create confidence. Remember, the customer's not going to buy until you've created a level of confidence. They're just not going to buy. There's no reason for them to buy unless they absolutely had to. So if I want to accelerate the buy, I've got to create confidence. And I create the confidence because I'm only prospecting people who I know I can benefit, who I know I can help. I'm dealing with tough questions. I'm asking you tough questions right up front. I'm doing everything possible to create confidence. What does that do? That allows you to feel more comfortable in making the decision faster. Let's talk about another one, land and expand. This is one that absolutely drives me crazy. And I want to spend some time here on this because it goes back and it ties into this whole deal in terms of reduce that number of options. What I want you to do is I want you to look at every customer you're dealing with your objective as being this. You just want to land them as a customer. Land. And then you're going to expand. So what does this mean? This means you're going to come in with the simplest of opportunities, the simplest of measures. I was just coaching an individual yesterday who they're a consulting firm and they come in with major projects. And what happens is these things get drawn out way too long. And I said, what you need to do is you need to create kind of an entry-level consulting package that you can do for them. An entry level that they can buy into very quick, that they don't have to serve up the ladder to the board and everybody else to get their approval, but make it very, very simple. Because what you want to do is you want to land them as a client. And then when you land them as a client, because you're going to be engaged with them, now you're going to have the ability to then, oh, guess what? Here's what I suggest. Here's what I suggest. Here's what I suggest. And you're going to be able to expand. Land and expand is probably the best way for you to sell fast. Now, what this means is that some of you who are sales managers listening to this, you need to adjust your compensation package. Because what you do is you're actually rewarding your salespeople for not closing small deals. Because if they only get paid on that initial order, then they're going to hold out for the big order. They are going to do everything possible to hold out because they get the big order, that's when they get the big commission check. And what's going to happen is you're going to lose a tremendous amount of business along the way. You see, what I want to do is I want to create a compensation package where you get compensated for that initial land, but you get compensated for everything else that comes in over the next year or 18 months or 2 years or 6 months, whatever that time frame is. You see, my objective is to land and expand. And another way to look at this is you take a grid. You can take this as an Excel spreadsheet. And you put across the top all of the products and services that you offer, every single product and service that you offer. And then down the left-hand side, you put names of your clients, names of your customers. And you put a tick mark by each one of the products that customers buy. And what you're going to see is you're going to see, whoa, wow, you know what? Most customers, when they come in, they're buying this product. You see, what you're also going to see is a very quick way that you can go back and expand. You see, speed selling is not just with new customers, but speed selling is with existing customers. Because now what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to come back to that existing customer, and it's going to be very logical. Well, you know, this customer's here and they buy this product or this service, and this is the outcome that they are looking for. And oh, here's another customer that they're looking for the same outcome, and they buy these other products or these other services. You see, I'm expanding. Speed selling is really encompassing three ways. Speed selling is I'm taking prospects and closing them faster, like what we've been talking about. Speed selling is about taking existing customers and getting them to buy more. And speed selling is about referrals. And C, land and expand is also about referrals. I'm going to land you. I just had this situation the other day. I landed a new client and began working with them, and they're already they're blown away by the results that they're seeing. And I've already been able to get from them several referrals. In fact, they're so enamored, they not only gave me the referral, but they are making the introduction for me. They are making the introduction for me. Now, what does that mean? That means this is going to be, without a doubt, a new client. And this is all some of the stuff that I talk about in the Sales Hunter University and all the programs. And jump out there to learn.thesaleshunter.com. Yeah. Now, what does this come down to? It comes down to a very simple thing. It comes down to flexibility. Flexibility. Now, don't confuse this by saying, hold it, Mark. You've been talking about keeping a straight line. Now you're talking about flexibility. Well, here it is. It's keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't overcomplicate things. What I find is this. I find too many salespeople, they literally create additional steps in the selling process because they're afraid of the customer turning them down. They create additional steps in the process because they lack their own confidence to be able to close the sale. They put additional steps in the process because they're not quite sure what the customer's looking for. You see, keep it simple, stupid is I'm zeroing in on 3 very specific things. What's the outcome I'm going to help you with? How is this going to benefit you quickly? And 3, am I dealing with the right people to make the decision? That's it. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. And here's what I found. This third one, am I dealing with the right people? See, what happens many times is when I come in with too big of an option, when I come in with too many options, when I come in with too big of a deal, that's when they have to get additional people involved. But if I keep it small enough, see what happens? When I keep it small enough, the person I'm dealing with is able to make the decision. You see, speed selling is without a doubt the number one thing that people need to be doing right now. I mean, I can't stress this enough. Thank you, Jared. We do create extra steps. We do. And it is dangerous to us. And all it does is confuse the customer. A confused customer does not buy from us. You can take that to the bank. Hey, what have we been talking about here? I've been talking about speed selling. And I just wanted to share this with you very quickly because, again, this is all content that comes out of the Sales Hunter University. I can't stress this enough. These courses are out there. In fact, we got a new one coming out, probably out on Monday, August 6th or 7th or whatever that will be, on phone prospecting. But we got all these courses out there. I want you to jump out there. I want you to check it out. Because here's the whole thing. Let me tell you something. This has never been a better time to be in sales because our customers need us more than ever. Because you know when it comes down to it, sales is not a job. It's not a profession. Sales is a lifestyle built on helping others achieve what they didn't think was possible. That's what sales is. And see, I can't help you achieve until you buy from me. So why should I complicate the buy? Let's make the buy as simple as possible. Hey, I'm Mark Hunter. I want you to jump out to thesaleshunter.com. Go out there. University courses are out there. Speed selling. Thanks so much. Great selling.